I will never leave a fallen comrade.
I am disciplined.
I am disciplined. Physically and mentally tough.
Trained and proficient in my warrior task and drill.
I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself.
I'm an expert and I'm a professional.
I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the
Enemies of the United States of America in close combat.
I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
I'm Army Strong.
There's strong, and there's Army Strong. See what it takes at GoArmy.com.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full material. Black Wolf Editorial Services. We strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio. Black Wolf Editorial Services. Nurture.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at rahardin.com. That's the World Wide Web at rahardin.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian belief. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jesse. I'm a United States Special Forces widow. It gives me a unique perspective on the world around us. I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't for it. This is my POV. Stands for point of view.
Alright, this is Jessie, and while I am very happy to be back with you guys, what a rough 48 hours. For those of you who haven't heard, yes, Debbie Reynolds, Carrie Fisher's mother, passed away just one day after her daughter. And this is, it was initially reported as a stroke, and she was rushed to the hospital approximately 1 p.m. today. And she died of a cardiac, Todd called to report a possible stroke. Debbie and Todd were making funeral plans for Carrie, who died of cardiac arrest. It's absolutely insane. Okay, I'm going to say this, and I've seen it, and a number of my friends have said it, and I'm going to say it on air. 2016, go away! You've claimed enough from all of us. No, long walk, short plank 2016, you are days away from being over. Stop taking people out of our lives. Yes, you heard it. I've had it. 2016, long walk, short plank, go away. I mean, every time I turn around, someone else is passing away. And quite frankly, I can only take so much. And I think I'm right up there with a number of other people in saying this. I've had enough of 2016. Some parts have been good, some parts have been bad. But really, this is too much. "2016 needs to go away." And I'm sorry, it does. It's really crazy. It's been, especially the last few months. Alright, I have no problem with the election results. I am all for the peaceful transition of power. So I'm not going to argue about election results, but we've had, just look at the international spectrum where I normally cover things. We've had South China say they're not going to abide by a court of arbitration decision. We've had a number of popular celebrities pass away. It has been really crazy. I mean, it's just been positively insane. And as much as I'm usually one just to take things as they come, I'm sorry, I'm done with 2016. I am absolutely done with it. I won't even get started yet, keyword, yet, on John Kerry. Oh yeah, we're going to get there. I'm probably going to spend most of the second half of the show on it. But I've got some other stories I've been wanting to bring you. Some of them were left over from yesterday. Some of them are new. It's just been one of those days around here. And I gotta say, the one thing I have prepped is audio clips. boy, do I have audio clips. And here's the stack of show prep. And that ain't even all of it, folks, because I didn't even put things like John Kerry's full speech text, which 13 pages long, thank you. 7 pages if you print double-sided. Thank you for double-sided printing. I didn't even put that in here. Now, I'm going to be organizing some stuff while I'm on the air, and I apologize because I was having to research the Debbie Reynolds passing right as I came on air. So, I'm going to be doing a little organizing. You'll probably hear my stapler a little bit. But what can I say? It's been quite a year. We've had, let's see, how many countries have gone under? Let's see, what's gone on this year? Political fracturing in Libya worsened by the presence of Daesh. Increased internal violence and political instability in Pakistan. Growing political instability in the Philippines. Political instability in Turkey stemming from a coup attempt and the authoritarian crackdown. Increased violence in eastern Ukraine between Russia-backed militias and Ukrainian security forces, with potential Russian military intervention that they're not even trying to cover up anymore. Intensified civil war in Yemen. Yeah, we don't talk about Yemen that much on this show. We really don't. I've got, let's see, continuing. Economic crisis and political instability in Venezuela. Intensification of political crisis in Burundi. I mean, these are some of the lower level ones, but yeah, it's just been absolute chaos around the world, and you can't even argue that it hasn't been. I mean, you just can't argue. Some of the big ones I bypassed was severe crisis in North Korea, because between their nuclear and ICBM testing, nuclear testing, military provocation, and possible internal political instability, there's been, I mean, it's just, whew. Increased violence and instability in Afghanistan, civil war in Syria, not to mention Daesh, intensification of violence between Turkey and the Kurds. I mean, this is just the armed confrontation in the East China Sea between China and Japan. Armed confrontation over disputed maritime areas in the South China Sea between China and more than one of their claimants. Political instability in the EU with Brexit. Further fracturing of Iraq. And, of course, heightened tensions between Israelis and Palestinians. Which does bring me to UN resolution and John Kerry's speech today. Oh my gosh. It was insane. Now first, I'm going to rewind. And we're going to look at some of the things Samantha Powers said at the UN. Okay? Okay. You're going to have to bear with me. I do have all the audio prepped, but I don't have it all loaded on my soundboard. So you are going to have to just bear with Alright, if you remember, yesterday I played this from the State Department press conference.
Is that we reject the notion that the United States was the driving resolution, nor did it put it forward. It was drafted. Every other country on the council would in fact support it. We may new to this. You look like you're. Go ahead. No.
Alright, so that was what I played yesterday. Now, I've got several audio clips, and most of them are short, but they are audio clips from the UN, and this is after all the people present at the Security Council meeting spoke after the vote. Alright? Alright. Let's take a listen to the first one. Get it, the right one pulled up.
Need only look at the 18 resolutions against adopted during the UN General Assembly in September. 12 Israel-specific resolutions adopted, more than those focused on Syria and South Sudan put together. 2016, Israel continues to be not only hurts Israel, it undermines the legitimacy of the United Nations.
Right, so I think Samantha Powers made the point there that Israel is treated differently at the UN. Now here's another audio clip that says a lot the same thing, but with a little more added.
But in reality, this vote for us was not straightforward because of where it is taking place at the United Nations. For as long as Israel has been a member of this institution,
okay, I agree with that. So far I'm with Samantha Powers. Now, here's another audio clip.
Unlike some on the UN Security Council, we do not believe that outside parties can impose a solution that has not, nor can we unilaterally recognize a future Palestinian.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have a date certain. It was at one.
Okay, that was from yesterday. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong clip.
Because the two-state solution is the only way to achieve just and lasting peace, the only way to ensure Israel's future as a Jewish and democratic state, living in peace and security.
All right, that's Kerry. I'm sorry. Secretary of State Kerry, you are looking inside the box. Can we throw out the box for a while? Can we? I would love to throw out the box and maybe look outside the box. Because guess what? Remember this one by Samantha Powers, and I'm going to play it again.
Unlike some on the UN Security Council, we do not believe that outside parties can impose a solution that has not, or can we unilaterally recognize a future Palestinian state.
Now, I've got a couple other audio clips mixed in with the ones I have are from Israel's permanent representative to the United Nations. And I thought this was interesting. All right.
While President Abbas and his party's leaders have made clear their opposition to violence, terrorism, and extremism, often fail to condemn specific attacks or condemn the praise heaped.
All right. That's a pretty strong statement. I'm sorry, a two-state solution is not the only way.
I mean, I don't have a date certain. It was that once the Egyptians and Palestinians.
Okay, sorry. Again, wrong audio clip. I've got a board full of them and they're not well organized. As I find the bad ones, I am clearing them off my board so I don't hit them again. Now, take a listen to this, and this is from the Israeli representative to the United Nations. Remember this statement.
But in reality, this vote for us was not straightforward because of where it is taking place at the United Nations. For as long as Israel has been a member of this
Then you transpose that with this.
Just 2 months ago, UNESCO approved a resolution denying the connection between the Jewish people and Jerusalem.
All right, UNESCO, for those of you who don't know, is the arm of the UN. It's in charge of World Heritage, determining World Heritage sites and who they belong to. Let's pick up the clip.
Today, this council, including many of the world's leading democracies, the beacons of liberty, voted to condemn the state.
All right, now let's add to this what Kerry said about the vision for the State of Israel in his speech today.
120 years ago, the first Zionist Congress was convened in Basel by a group of Jewish visionaries who decided that the only effective response to the waves of anti-Semitic horrors sweeping across Europe was to create a state in the historic home of the Jewish people, where their ties to the land went back centuries. A state that could defend its borders, protect its people, and live in peace with its neighbors. That was the vision.
I don't think that vision is dead, Secretary Kerry. Listen to this. This is from the UN Israeli representative.
Full confidence in the continue to be a democratic state, full civil and human rights for all our citizens, and we will be a Jewish state, proudly reclaiming the land of our Maccabees fought the oppressors. This holy book, the Bible, contains 3,000 years of history of the Jewish people in the land of Israel. No one can change this history.
Hey, Susan, are you trying to join me for my show, or are you just hanging out early?
I'm just hanging out early so we're all plugged in and dialed in.
Okay. I'm going to just set you aside for a while and continue with my show, as I'm live on the air right now.
Oh, so sorry. Okay.
That's okay. stuff happens. I was just discussing the UN.
Oh wow! Well, I'm gonna want to listen to that. So I'm glad I'm listening to you early, and I will just be quiet and listen to and learn. How's that?
Sounds good. All right. So we go back to this clip from Samantha Powers.
One need only look at the 18 resolutions against Israel. 12 Israel-specific resolutions adopted, more than those focused on Syria, Iran, and South Sudan put together. In 2016, Israel continues to be not only hurts Israel, it undermines the legitimacy of the United Nations.
Then you remember the UNESCO vote, and then listen to this from the Israeli permanent representative to the United Nations.
Tomorrow night, Israel and the entire Jewish community around the world will celebrate the holiday Hanukkah. Over 2,000 years ago, King Antiochus banished the Jewish people from our temple in decrees, trying to sever us from religion and our heritage. But we prevailed. The Jewish people fought back. We gained our independence and relied.
And as a Jew, I take this rather personally, especially when UNESCO came out and did this months later. And I'm trying to prove 2 points here, so just bear with me, folks. And I know I'm coming up on my break at the bottom of the hour. We're going to take it just a couple minutes late.
Just 2 months ago, UNESCO approved a resolution denying the connection between the Jewish people and Jerusalem. Today, this council
UNESCO approved a resolution denying the connection between the people of Israel and Jerusalem. Then you go back to this.
But in reality, this vote for us was not straightforward because of where it is taking place at the United Nations. For as long as Israel has been a member of this
Okay, so I think we've established that the UN has treated Israel differently forever. Now, we are going to go to that commercial break, and then I will see you on the other side. We'll have a little bit more on the UN resolution, and then I've got some news, because I think we've been all just a little overwhelmed with Carrie Fisher, Debbie Reynolds, and the UN resolution to realize there's more going on in the world, folks. All right, so I will see you on the other side.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from the critique of the short story through to line edits on full-length novels. We also offer assistance on generating writers' bios for your websites. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-757-2782. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-757-2782. That's 877-757-2782.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Alright, thank you for hanging in there with me over that commercial break. Now, for those of you that heard Susan Swift, the real Susan Swift call in, yes, I'm the producer for Constitution and Culture, so all those little audio blips have to do with me, at least the ones involving queuing audio clips. What can I say? I'll take the blame. Now, moving right along. I guess I think I'm becoming allergic to 2016. What could I say? I do have some interesting news. For those of you that aren't aware, Japan's Prime Minister visited the War Dead Shrine, prompting anger in China and South Korea. Remember, a senior, it doesn't say Prime Minister, but it said a senior Japanese official paid his respects at a controversial shrine for war dead on Wednesday, potentially marring Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's earlier groundbreaking visit to Pearl Harbor with President Barack Obama. The visit by Masahiro Imura, Abe's cabinet minister for reconstruction, to Tokyo's Yakasuni Shrine for War Dead was seen by China and South Korea as a symbol of Japan's past militarism, prompting a sharp rebuke from Beijing. China is firmly against any visit by Japanese cabinet members to the Yakasuni Shrine, which worships Class A criminals in the Second World War. Foreign Ministry spokesman Hua Chae-young said, referring to the regular visits to the shrine by a small group of officials. We once again urge the Japanese side to look squarely and deeply reflect upon the past history of aggression and take a responsible attitude. All right. Now, first of all, China, where do you get off telling another country's leaders what memorials they can and can't visit in their own country? I'm sorry, I just don't get it. I just don't get where you get off telling Japanese leaders what shrines they are allowed to visit. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't think Host Kitty gets it either. No, I really don't. In fact, I sat down with him earlier today, and he gave me a couple of insights on the year. Okay? He said there were moments that were, but there were a lot of this. Yeah, he did a lot of hissing. I'm not going to play all the hisses for you, but he did a fair bit of hissing. What can I say? Host Kitty was not a happy camper when I brought up all this craziness. He definitely was in this category. Yeah, definitely. So, China, you are a bully. Long walk, short plank. And I will get back to the carry, but I needed a break because it's a very heady topic. And as I am Jewish, it really teed me off. Islamic State supporters call for more holiday attacks, particularly in Europe. Yes, Daesh is at it again. A pro-Daesh group on Wednesday urged supporters of the jihadists to carry out attacks on targets such as markets and hospitals in Europe over the holiday period and urged Muslims to stay away from Christian celebrations. The threat came as the European authorities have stepped up security following an attack claimed by Daesh in which a truck was plowed into a Berlin Christmas market and killed 12 people earlier this month. The celebrations, gatherings, clubs, markets, theaters, cinemas, malls, and even their hospitals are all perfect targets for attack, said the online message to Islamist lone wolves. Now, sorry folks, I had to grab a cough drop. It's been one of those days. It really has. And like I said, Kerry, he just took the cake today. I'm sorry. 13 pages of yabber, 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 yabber. Combine that with the UN trying to say, oh, no, Israel, Jerusalem isn't yours. It's the third holiest site in Islam. Excuse me. What about Mecca and Medina? Jerusalem may be the third holiest site in Islam, but it's the first in Judaism. Now, let me see if I got that other audio clip pulled up that I'm looking for. Because I got so many show prep clips for tonight. That it's just insane. It really is. I normally don't have an entire soundboard full of clips. Alright, I can't find the one I was looking for. But Israel is the holiest site. In all of Judaism. The Western Wall is part of the heritage of Judaism. And there have been so many restrictions on people going, particularly prayer services held there. been really crazy. So, what can I say? This whole past couple of days have been overwhelming. Really have been. Really have been. And I don't even know where to start some days. I really don't. All I can keep thinking is, what is going to happen next? I mean, every time I turn around, I'm just like, no, not again. Whether it's, and I'm sorry to be rambling, and I'm going to probably cut this episode just a little short, because I'm not sure I can take much more. Between our wounded warriors, between deaths, between everything, that has gone on this year. Quite frankly, I am worn out. All right. Let's see. I've got a little bit of audio in honor of Debbie Reynolds. Let's see if I can get it to queue up properly.
Beyond the stars, to go there. Glow for
And she did indeed go beyond the stars today. All right, I've got a couple more news articles. I would love to do more on the UN John Kerry thing. I'm going to be honest with you, I can't. I just can't. Okay? Okay. I'm going to read a couple other news articles and we're going to call it for the day. Gunmen kidnapped an Iraqi journalist after breaking into her Baghdad home. The Interior Ministry of Iraq reminded us Tuesday of the dangers reporters face in a war-torn country where authorities have struggled to maintain security. The Interior Minister said Afra Shawi al-Kazi was abducted from her house on the southwestern Sayyidia neighborhood on Monday night. It called on residents to come forward with any information that might help the investigation. At least 8 gunmen arrived in 2 pickup trucks, claimed to be members of the security forces, and asked to search the house. Once inside, they handcuffed Al-Kazi's 16-year-old son, kept him in the kitchen. took gold, money, phones, laptops, and a car. They also badly beat her brother-in-law, who lives next door. Al-Kazi, a veteran journalist and employee of the Iraqi cultural minister, is a leading critic of the country's endemic corruption. On Monday, she published an article in a local media outlet criticizing Interior Ministry official who badly beat a school principal in front of students and teachers for refusing to punish a pupil who quarreled with the official's daughter. Iraq is considered one of the most dangerous countries for journalists who have frequently been targeted by militant groups since the 2003 lead invasion that toppled Saddam Hussein. Dozens of journalists have perished while covering military operations. All right. I also had a happy story that I didn't get a chance to read over the holidays. 10 white buses sped from the northern Iraqi city of Erbil Saturday morning, packed with displaced Assyrians intent on spending Christmas Eve in their most Christian hamlet, recaptured in October from Daesh. "I miss my church and my town," said one of the drivers. When they arrived for an 11 a.m. Mass at Mars Shimoni Church, they found a Christmas tree at the entrance, flanked by armed guards and snipers perched on the roof. 2 days earlier, suicide bombers had attacked a busy market just a few miles west, killing 23 people. But that didn't stop several hundred faithful from making a pilgrimage home. "I know all of them," said Father Yoko Sahad Shamas, noting the church once served 2,000 families. The priest started across the church courtyard in his black cassock, welcoming worshippers as gray skies threatened rain. As the church filled, women slipped on lacy black mantillas and filed up into the balcony, past singed walls still spray-painted with warnings of bombs since removed. Windows and crosses were broken, but the crystal chandelier was unharmed, reflecting the glow of the altar as they prayed in Assyrian and Arabic. The church bells rang and drowned out for a time the boom of the fighting in nearby Mosul. Benam, the bus driver, stepped outside for a break. During the drive-in, he was upset to see Shiite Muslim flags hanging from empty homes installed there by Iraqi forces, who ousted Daesh from the town. "We just want the Iraqi flag," he said. Benam feared most of his neighbors would not rebuild. At least 400 homes were destroyed. Hundreds more were burned and looted. There's no electricity, no running water. Some former residents have already moved abroad. But I'm grateful that despite everything, the Assyrians have endured here for 6,000 years, surviving Arab, Mongol, and Persian rule. Some intend to rebuild, and some want the U.S.-led coalition to help protect the town. "This is our land," he said, "but life cannot be like before. We need security and safety." So, there were some bright spots in the world. All right, folks. Like I said, I'm calling this one just a bit earlier. But we are going to go out. Instead of my usual music, we're going out with Debbie Reynolds, Far Beyond the Stars.
Beyond the stars, to go there.